What's going on, guys? Geo Level Up Design here, and yes, I have been away for some time, obviously. Kind of give you a rundown what happened. Holidays, busy, spending time with family, that just kind of tied things up a little bit. Second, went on vacation right at the end of the year. I went to Tennessee, super nice, very cold, but compared to Florida weather, it was amazing. I love the cold. I was like a husky there, basically, so that was great. But what happened when I came back after a new year and everything, as you can probably tell now, got pretty sick. Great. Started out like kind of in a progression of me just being like having body chills, or body ache, sorry. Then I got a fever, and fever I got congestion, sinus stuff, and then I actually got a really bad earache. Still kind of have it now, but I couldn't hear anything out of my left ear basically. So now I'm actually kind of going back into recovery, and with doing that, I can actually go back to doing the things I do. I was still streaming in between, but obviously that kind of put on hold so I can focus on my health and my recovery. We're back in full swing of things now, and actually, with all that being said, we're going to go into a new video series, and this one is basically just creating maps, right? Different types of maps, because obviously I have all these theories, videos, practices, blah 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 blah. But if I can't put it into practice to show you guys how something will look, then what's the point, right? So that's basically what we're gonna do. And kind of like the steps in doing this are gonna be pretty simple. So first off, as always, we're gonna decide on a map, right? Now that I excitedly got my map, because I actually did get that while I was still feeling kind of crappy, but nonetheless, we got that map, and now we're going to go into actually creating that map. So I'm actually going to show you like a time lapse of what that looked like, and me kind of going through the motions of what I was wanting to create. So yeah, here you go. Let's go right into it right now. Alright guys, this part basically what I'm doing like in the first half of this video, or I guess third of this video. But basically we're just getting some research, doing some references on what exactly we want to build. Typically I try to avoid doing concept art, but since I couldn't really think of any reference games that had kind of, an aquarium as a like a key location, like as like a main playable area, I figured I'd just get some inspiration, look around. But mainly what I'm basically doing is looking at real life places, right? Things that come up when obviously go visit to an aquarium, a fair, museum, depending on the areas, and just kind of tracking a list of that, right? So you know exactly what to expect, or what I guess want to build out. So first off, I'm trying to make a list of what would the level look like, what's it gonna have, right? It's gonna have tunnels, it's gonna have a lot of like open areas, closed areas, how do those connect, and then basically just getting that all compiled together, and then again still gathering real life research, looking at some videos, trying to understand exactly what I would want to aim for. And again, it's more like just a reference. This could definitely change as things come to fruition and making out the map, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, just getting a list of what I would want to have in there, ideally just looking at some different real life places. And once we have that set up, then yeah, we basically go into creating the map for it. So let's go into that now. So unfortunately, most of the beginning part of this recording video went to poop. So basically I just cut out like the part that wasn't bad, and then just put that in here. It's basically just showing you like what the end result was from doing the research, just kind of like mapping out or quote unquote designing how I think things should look. And then from basically having all that set up, we now have this, which is basically just layering the map out, layering out the interactions, having a little bit of a better flow. And then now we're just gonna go into the engine and start blocking out. Yeah, let's look at that. Alrighty, now here basically all we're doing is just bringing in the map as a decal. So we go ahead and just look at it from top perspective and start blocking it out. I typically hop between either using SketchUp or sometimes just building directly in the engine with the modeling tool enabled. Well, for Unreal Engine 5, it's already set up for Unreal Engine 4, but basically it just depends how I feel or how quick I want to try and iterate something. So that's pretty much what I wanted to aim for in here. Get to see how scale feels, just block out the walls and everything, get it set up. And basically how I'm going to do is I'm going to set out the main perimeter of everything. Once the whole perimeter is set up, then I'm going to start focusing in on the sections, I guess you could call it, because if you see again from the top down, there's like little black lines separating it per segments within the actual world. So that's basically what I'm just doing here, just get everything blocked out using again the modeling tool to make like custom shapes, then also editing the actual like mesh itself, adding edge loops, making doorways, trying to get a feel for scale as well, which luckily when doing the modeling tool, the actual like the mesh itself are very easy to be edited. So if you wanted to make a doorway bigger or smaller, remove it, refill up the space, it's pretty simple. Again, I do like SketchUp. I'm not one, too familiar with it, and two, it's basically the same concept, so I figured I might as well just kill two birds with one stone, just build directly in the engine. But ideally, obviously, you still want to get a map set up so you have your reference, and then you're gonna make tweaks to the actual map itself too once you have it all blocked out. And you can probably see here I run into a little bit of a hiccup because I haven't used the modeling tool in a little bit from being sick, with some of the meshes and the faces acting all wonky. So this is going to happen a couple times in this video, but then I actually find a pretty good workflow on how to overcome it. So yeah, just going to get you guys watching, and I'll see you guys in the next part.
after making some last minute edits to the map and then just kind of layering out like how the flow would look from obviously one spawn point to the next, we basically have kind of how this looks, right? You know, just running it through the map, just trying to see how it feels. Obviously it looks very barren, massive, because there's nothing else in here besides just the walls. But once we get into like the next steps of filling in the space, you know, obviously adding in obstacles and stuff, you know, things for them to hide behind, and then we're probably going to be adding in more walls and, or not walls, well, actually, yeah, more walls up inside of the rooms, and then more doorways as well, more entrances, you know, exits, everything, so we can get more of a flow like how shooters typically are. And then we kind of have like this exterior setup of the building, and then if you see within that exterior, you have the interior, like little compartments. Obviously, you don't see the roof right now because I haven't flipped, so it's from, you can see it from within, and the big one already has the roof over it. And then, yeah, basically with all that done, unfortunately, like 15 minutes after this, when I was doing, God knows what, I don't even remember, the engine crashed. Isn't that nice?